New project time. I've been making it a point this year to do one project at a time, get it knocked out, and then start on the next one, and not start 5 projects at the same time, or I'll do a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. So I just finished one project, and I'm going to start with the kitchen for the van. So I'm going to start the next project, which has been a few years in coming, but I need a swing away tire carrier for my Vanagon. When I put disc brakes on, I had to go to 16-inch wheels, and so the new wheels and tires don't fit underneath the front of the Vanagon where the normal tire would store. And so really my only option is to carry the tire inside the Vanagon, which isn't super safe, but also when you have a baby in the Vanagon is extra unsafe. If we have a fender bender, all bad. So I'm gonna put a swing away tire carrier on the back side. Tire's too big, and normally they would go, the spare would go right there up front, but it no fit. Even with this aftermarket Go Westy carrier, it's fine for the 15-inch wheel, but not the 16-inch. So this is the kit that I got from Ratha Sochinda. I'll put his info down in the comments. So it begins. Okay, all the large pieces are all welded up, plumb and square like they're supposed to be. I'm gonna let everything cool, and then start putting it together. So this is my jig to get the proper length on the arm there, and use the largest clamp that I will ever own, probably the largest C-clamp I'll ever own at least, and got everything level and fit the tire and open the door, and everything should work. It's a little long, but I mean, it is what it is. I think I'm actually going to tie to that bumper piece right there, though. We'll see. So getting this on at 90 degrees to the hitch itself, holy Jiminy Jesus. Yeah, I've been working at that for 30 minutes or so, and I don't think I'd be able to do it without the Fireball clamps. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and tack this, and as precarious as it is, I may give it a couple tacks on this side, check it again, a couple tacks on the other side, and I'm using a frame square and some 1, 2, 3 blocks, just to make sure that both here and here that we're solid. Okay. And some more jigs to get that square. And just like that, I'm out of gas. It started sputtering and I didn't know what was going on, and yeah, out of gas. So let me switch to tanks. That's much better. Okay, for that kind of curb tube connecting the upright tire holder to the base, I'm going to go ahead and use some 1.5" 1/8" wall tube that I already have, and I'm going to use my JD Squared Model 32 bender. Now, I converted this thing to air over hydraulic instead of manual because it's better. Now, I don't use this thing a lot, but I'm telling you, it's paid for itself 3 times over on the first job I ever used it on. So I do have a bunch of dies for it, and the 1.5" is one of them. And also, I think of myself as an adult. I pay bills. I have responsibilities that I live up to. I question that when things like this happen. When I have to get out the tube lube and I start laughing like a South Park character, I may not be a full-fledged adult anymore. All right, I got her mocked up. Look at that. Look at it. All right. All right. Okay, cut line scribed with the Durestapic because it's just fucking handy. Let's go cut that off. First test fit, and I am pleased as punch. I really am. I don't have the anti-wobble end, so I've got this this crippler on. I did find also that I have some interference with this D-ring. So I am going to alter and put my own D-ring here and mate them together. So yeah, it changes a little bit in that it isn't a quick change out for this, but I don't plan on ever taking it off, and it'll still be bolted on. So it's not like it's welded to the bumper. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, real pleased at how this is coming together. Yeah, everything opens, everything works just like it's supposed to. I have space here, and I knew that with the wide bumper, and my plan is actually to have gas storage here. So that way it's on the van, and I don't have to put it on a trailer. And then while I'm gonna have the license plate there, I think I'm going to change and put a propane tank holder here. So that way, with 2 points and the anti-wobble, it'll be multi-purpose. So yeah, real happy with that initial fit. Yep. So I need to clean up the welds and get everything together on it. Well, I had to do a little body work, and it was tight quarters in here. So I ended up using the Dremel tool. And I'm gonna tell you, this is the first time I've ever done body work with a Dremel tool that I didn't shatter at least 3 blades. So I was pretty proud of myself. I am going to go ahead and prime, well, sand, ease, and then prime and paint these edges before I go any further, because rust bad. And as viewed from the bottom, so my issue was that with the bolt and the wedge, there was no way to get a pin in. It wouldn't go far enough back, so I had to remove a little bit of body panel, but it's fine. It's 100% fine. All right, I have everything on level, and as I mentioned, I was going to make a bracket here, and so I went ahead and fabricated that bad boy up. Now I'm just going to tack weld it in place, get my hole so that I can do a through bolt so that it is removable, and go ahead and weld that on, clean it up. I almost made a giant boo-boo. I almost sparked a weld on this without taking the negative post off my battery. That wouldn't have been fun. Okay, yeah, quick tip: if you're ever welding on your vehicle, make sure you remove your battery entirely. Would be better, but at least remove the negative post off your battery. Yeah. And if you have a van or a truck or some other vehicle that has spare battery, like a lithium ion or something like that, yeah, disconnect that battery too. Yeah. Now I did also have to notch that just a touch, but you know, it's still, I think, structurally sound enough for anything that I'm gonna do to it. And I did reinstall these with a little blue thread lock, because I realized that when I put this bumper on like 4 years ago that I didn't install thread locker in any of those, so I went back and went ahead and took care of it. All right, I've cleaned it up really well with the wire brush. All the welds are clean, and I'm gonna give her a quick scrub with acetone before I go in and put the self-etching primer on. Almost there. First coat on, first side. Here we go. I broke a tap, even with oil. I shall now sing the song of my people. It starts with the F word. I don't care who you are, dirty words help. They just do. Look at that, right out. Aha! 4 taps through 3/8 inches of steel, all quarter 20. Not another broken tap. Whew. First coat on all the parts. It always looks crappy first time, but after a light scuff and another coat, it'll look pretty good. Final coat on. So I'm gonna let this cook off overnight and most of the day tomorrow. This hammered texture paint, it's just kind of soft for the first 24 hours. So before I put it on, I'm gonna let it harden up. Touch-up paint. This is the very last thing I'm doing. The studs took forever because I forgot to order them. So that's the last thing I'm doing. This part of the tire carrier's on. I'm going to go ahead and install it in 2 parts. I did go ahead and put the D-ring on with that 1/2-inch bolt, Loctite, and torqued to about 75 pounds. It's not going nowhere. Then the hitch itself, you can see here where I have modified the body panel, and that's torqued to about 125 pounds. Also not going anywhere, and that is tougher than a coffin nail right there. Went ahead and put this wear pad in, and those also have Loctite in them. So I will not install the other part tonight. I put another coat on that because that's going to be seen, and I'll install that tomorrow. Today, and I realized in this toolkit I did not have a wrench big enough for that bolt. I mean, I had one crescent wrench, but my other one isn't big enough. So I went in and grabbed my forging twist wrench because it was plenty big enough. But went ahead and got all of that mounted in. I got some grease actually in there. Just cause everything is Loctited. The ball is Loctited, that nut's Loctited, and we're good to go with that connection. And I don't care who you are, if you work on vehicles or airplanes or anything mechanical, Loctited is absolutely the correct verb. It is the action word for applying Loctite to threads, and you hope they never come off again. Now, I didn't do it with red, I did it with blue, but still, I never want to take that off. So as I put the tire onto the mount, now I have put welded nuts to the back of the mount, and I'm going to use bolts. So not like the VW tire itself or wheel, just opposite. So I'm putting these safety bolts on. Now I do have an extra bolt and an extra key here in the van, and I'm putting them on with copper anti-seize. In previous experience, I've had to use a cheater bar and weight and lots of cuss words to get a spare tire off of an exterior rack. I don't ever want to do that again. So a little bit of anti-seize. Now, when you put your lug nuts on, or bolts, whatever, don't use anti-seize because it changes the coefficient of friction, and if you're trying to tighten to like 110 or 130 inch-pounds, it'll actually increase that, and you could snap your lug nut or your lug bolt. So don't put this on when it's going on the van or the truck or the car or whatever. But on an exterior spare tire carrier, I like to do it. Tip of the day, I guess. Anytime that you're using anti-seize, wear gloves. It's really nasty stuff to get on your skin. Unhealthy even. So gloves, and there we go. And done. Super happy to get this one off the books. One more project. Just complete. I will move the license plate and the light over, but for fabrication and mount, the swing away tire carrier for my Synchro Vanagon is done. I did put my Euro plate holder in, as you can see, and it's locked in place. Now, super sturdy. Not going anywhere. Really happy to have this done. In the build, I mentioned that this was put on and designed so that I would be able to have gas cans, or a gas and a water can, or 2 water cans, or whatever, and a propane bottle. Also store right here, close to the vehicle, protected by the bumper and the tire, be fully encompassed within the 4 wheels of the van instead of inside the cabin, and not hang out like a wart. So I'm not done with the carrier part. So it's actually in 2 pieces. So the carrier for the tanks and the can will mount sort of like the hitch mount in an anti-wobble. It will actually go in here. So that way I can take it in and out if I want to. So that will mount right there. There'll be a bolt in here to keep it in place, and then it will have 3 points of contact. Now that I've said how happy I am over and over and over with how it turned out with the build, let's get into the reality of it. So, like I said previously in the video, this is the 3rd one. I built 2 others for pay. A couple people paid me to build them, and this one was going to be free. And it was. I mean, I bought a little hardware, but nothing serious. What wasn't free was my time. This took me 6 or 7 weeks of an hour here, hour and a half there, 2 hours there, start and stop. It wasn't efficient at all. Having a full-time job aside from fabrication and forging, as well as, having a baby at home and responsibilities and my wife needing me and travel for work, it just kept going on and on and on. So I'm going to say something that is sort of controversial for what I normally do. Would I build it again? No. I would buy it. I would sell my Rocky Mountain Westy bumper, buy a Go Westy bumper with the swing away kit already on it, attach 4 bolts, and be done with it for $600 or $700 difference. Because the truth, I want my time back. If I didn't have a full-time job, absolutely. But just the way things turned out, I think that I would rather trade my money for my time at this point in life. That doesn't mean that I didn't learn a ton, because every time I do one or something like it, I still learn. I'm excited to put it in use, and like I said ad nauseum, I'm really happy with the build. I'm going to go ahead and in the comments talk about the build itself, some of the stuff I found, link the hardware that I had to buy, anything else really that you might need. Also Rotha's link, the guy that designs and sells the kit. You can buy the kit from him, or you can buy the plans and do it yourself. I did a little bit of both. So I had the kit, and I changed a couple of things, and then I used the plasma table and made a couple little adapters and some extra stuff, mostly for the gas tanks and and the propane tank, but I did zhuzh it up a little bit. So anyway, thank you again for your time that you invested in watching the video. I do really appreciate it. Thank you.